heartily welcome His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami Maharaj. He has kindly accepted our request to guide us at this most needed time. Just a brief introduction about Maharaj for our purification. Maharaj appeared in 1951 in Auckland, New Zealand, and he first came in contact with Srila Prabhupada while at university in Auckland, and in 1972 he left New Zealand to make an extensive world tour and met with ISKCON devotees in London and later joined ISKCON. After receiving initiation from Srila Prabhupada, he became involved in public relations and book publication for the Bhaktivedanta manner. Then in 1980, he went to South Africa and served there as temple president. In 1994, during the Gaur Purnima festival, he took the renounced order of life. He has been also doing many educational programs at VIHE in Vrindavan, and he is continuously traveling extensively in Russia, England, India, America, and South Africa and preaching Krishna consciousness. We are very fortunate to have an association in 2017 in ZBC meeting in Ujjain also. And we are very, very grateful to him for coming here to give us solace and strength to face this most unexpected situation. So let us express our gratitude to His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami Maharaj by one time chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra with raised hands. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Maharaj, your mic is muted. Mic is not mute. Please unmute it. Yes.
Okay. Hare Krishna, devotees from ISKCON Ujjain. I remember being there a couple of years ago, and it was very nice. Such nice devotees. So, all right, here we are. And let us just say a few words about these things. First of all, some prayers. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastya Chadeshatarane Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vanchikapatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha, patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhakti Charu Swamin Iti Namane. Yes, so devotees, as Prabhu said in the beginning, this is so unexpected. It's like something from completely out of this world. Who would have dreamed? Who would have dreamed? But this material world is full of surprises and full of difficulties. But fortunately, Krishna consciousness is on a higher level. And therefore, through Krishna consciousness, we can transcend even the worst that the material world tries to throw at us. including this situation we're faced with right now. It's really something unbelievable. You know, the thing is, well, I'm a member of the GBC Executive Committee, and over the about 2 weeks leading up to the disappearance of Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj last Saturday, we were monitoring extremely carefully, and at the end we were monitoring every hour or even more frequently than every hour what was happening. And at first we thought, and I think many devotees thought, that, well, this is just some temporary situation and Maharaj is sick and in a little while he'll get over it. And then I'm sure if you were following the whole event, then you would remember that sometimes Maharaj's condition improved. And there was one time I told one devotee, disciple of Maharaj, here in our temple in Durban, South Africa, I said, you know, it's okay, he's getting better. And we thought, yeah, it's all right. But then as time went on, it became clear it was more serious. And I remember it was actually American time. It was the evening or night, let's say sort of evening night of the Friday the 3rd. And the doctors reported to us that Maharaj, that there's a general failure of the entire physical system, and that Maharaj had become completely dependent on different machines of different types. And it was right at that point, that was the evening. In South Africa here, it was early morning. It was about 5 or 5:30 maybe. And I was chanting japa. I received that report. And then it struck me, oh, it seems like Bhakti Charu Maharaj is in the process of, what would you say, just withdrawing himself and withdrawing his pastimes from this world. So we kept following, every hour, or at different times even more than every hour. And we were calling for prayer, but it seemed like that. Maharaj is withdrawing from this world. Finally, it reached the point, the chairman of the GBC Executive Committee is Ramai Maharaj, who's based in Australia. And the other vice chairperson is Banu Maharaj, who is also at this moment in Australia. So they're 8 hours ahead of us here in South Africa. So they would take rest, their time, I don't know, 9 o'clock or something. Here in South Africa, it was about 10 or 11 in the morning. So I was the only member of the executive committee who was still available as the time went on. There were different discussions about what to do if Maharaj would pass away. Then finally, I received a call. It was in South African time. It was 2:34 in the afternoon, means 8:34 in Florida, where Maharaj was. And yeah, you know, my phone, Jai Prabhupada. Anyway, my phone, I have it set for exactly the right time. And the call came up that in Florida, it is 8:34. And on the other end from Florida was a devotee named Guru Garanga Das. And Guru Garanga at that time, 8:34 in the morning in Florida, in a very, very disturbed, deeply disturbed state of consciousness. He told me, Bhakti Charu Maharaj just departed between 1 and 2 minutes ago. The devotees are trying, the doctors are trying to revive him, but his heart has stopped, his breathing has stopped. So that was 8:34 at that time, and his heart had stopped, his breathing had stopped already a couple of minutes. So that means that, really speaking, he left this world approximately 8:32 Florida time. And in India, Bharat May, sure, what would it be? It would be, there's 6 hours plus 3.5, 9.5 hours. So means 3, no, 5, 6 o'clock, more or less exactly 6 o'clock in the evening on the 4th. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj left this world. And of course, for all of yourselves as disciples, and I've been to Ujjain a few times actually, I don't know, 3 or 4 times, maybe something like that. And I know how the whole of the Ujjain project was revolving around Maharaj, and how Maharaj had really given his heart to trying to develop Ujjain. Even he told me that his international services, like being GBC and traveling and so on, he didn't take them to be so important. Well, important, but say important. But he told me he felt, as he was developing the Ujjain project, he felt he was really doing something useful for Srila Prabhupada, really establishing something substantial. And it's true, I remember being there for the opening, and what a wonderful project. It was wonderful. But anyway, this is the situation we're faced with. And There have been already a number of gurus in ISKCON who have passed away. There was Tamal Krishna Goswami, very senior and highly respected devotee. There was Bhakti Tirtha Swami, also highly respected. There was Gaur Govinda Swami. And there have been a few others. Those I remember particularly Tamal Krishna Goswami, who I also knew well. But when they passed away, personally, it didn't affect me so much. I just took it that, well, Hare Krishna, this is the will of the Lord, what can we do? But I must say, when Bhakti Charu Maharaj left this world last Saturday, sure, for myself, it was really the most, I would say, the heaviest experience I've had since the time Srila Prabhupada left this world. Yeah, since that time, we've had these different devotees pass away and it all made an impression. But this departure of Bhakti Charu Maharaj, oh my gosh, the impact it has made on me personally and just on the devotee community, I've not seen anything like it since the disappearance of Prabhupada. And it's really affected me extremely deeply. It's been a very, very emotional experience. So of course, the question, the main question, I suppose, is what to do now. Where do we go from here? And, if I may, just go back to the time when Prabhupada left this world. I was in Bhaktivedanta Manor in England, and it was the next day Prabhupada left this world, about 7:30 in the evening on 14th of November. In England, that's 1 o'clock in the morning. We only got the message the next day, the 15th. And there was no announcement initially, just the temple president. The temple president called me into his office. It was maybe, 10 o'clock or something. He called me into his office and told me that Srila Prabhupada had left this world. And it was really, it was completely totally unexpected. Here at least we had 2 weeks of warning, you could say, of Maharaj being hospitalized and, all these things. But with Prabhupada, even though his health was not good, it was bad, but still, none of us expected. We all thought Prabhupada is just going to live on, and I never thought maybe not what may happen. It never really occurred to me, actually. And suddenly this news came. And it was like when Prabhupada left this world, it took a few hours for the news to spread. But when Prabhupada left this world, basically, for the time being, this International Society for Krishna Consciousness, it just stopped. Not exactly stopped, but all the book distribution, all the preaching, all that stopped. All the devotees came back to the temples. In those days, there was no congregation at all. At least 95% or more of the devotees were living in temples. In Bhaktivedanta Manor in England, we were something between 100 and 200, I can't remember, maybe 150 devotees living in the temple. Yeah. And many of them were going out doing book distribution. We had maybe 10 parties traveling, doing book distribution. So I was, the temple president explained that Prabhupada had passed away. And for me, it was just like, what? What are you talking about? This is nonsense. Cannot be. So on one side, there was great shock that Prabhupada has left this world. On the other side, there was this, we couldn't believe, I couldn't believe it. No. Just like if you hear someone says some crazy thing, and you think, no, that's not true. So it was like that. It was like, no, Prabhupada, leave this world, not possible, impossible. But it had happened. So that evening, well, we had our maybe 8 to 10 book distribution parties traveling out on a weekly basis, and then they'd come back on Sunday night, and they go out on Monday, again, something, that was the program. And every night, every evening, they would phone in the temple and give us their book distribution scores for the day. And I had the duty of taking those phone calls and writing down all the results. So, but that evening, the devotees phoned in, and I had to tell each group, Srila Prabhupada left this world. Please come back to the temple. Oh, Krishna. So they all came, but no one knew what to do. It was sort of like things became paralyzed. The deity worship went on. But that was all. And, the morning program went on. And all around the world, it was like that. The deity worship went on, but everything else stopped. In the entire ISKCON, everything stopped. And then, what happened in England? What happened in England was one devotee who had been there through the whole time when Prabhupada was sick, and then finally Prabhupada leaving this world. One devotee, an American, he passed through London on his way back to America. His name was Bharadraj Das. So Bharadraj came. He arrived on the, if I remember correctly, the 17th. Prabhupada left this world on the 14th. So maybe on the 17th, Bharadraj came to Bhaktivedanta Manor, just near London. And Bharadraj gave a long class, 2 hours, where he explained the whole history, what had happened, everything that led up to Prabhupada leaving this world. And then the actual departure, sure, what a story, what a story. And everyone was there and just completely spellbound and completely in tears. So yes, so then the questions started to come up. What to do now? What should we do? We can't just stay paralyzed. And for you all there in Eugene, you know, if you have not come to this point yet, I don't know. But if not, I think you should start seriously thinking what to do now. And maybe you're already thinking like that, I just don't know. But certainly at some point soon, you know, wait a few days for some mourning and some prayers and chanting and praying and expressions of the emotions. But then the question is there, what now? What shall we do now? And I remember this happened in England. And it happened all over when Prabhupada left. What to do now? So, well, what happened was that we got all the book distribution parties back out on Sankirtan, and everything else, what all the other programs, so many things, they just started going on again. And the devotees found that by getting back into practical devotional service, that they became, I wouldn't say peaceful, but I would definitely say more peaceful. They became much more peaceful. And there was a lot of realization amongst the devotees, a lot of realization. And you know what the essence of the realization was? The essence of the realization was that Srila Prabhupada is present. He's present in different ways. And one of the ways he's present is in service to him. And if we take shelter of service to him, then we become connected with him. And the distress, the pain of the separation reduces greatly, very greatly. And not only that, but if one really becomes absorbed like that, then not only does the feeling of separation reduce, but one starts to feel that in this case, Prabhupada is here. He's here with us. Because as we all know, although sometimes, like when it's very difficult and intense like this, it may be, you know, difficult to remember very clearly, but we know the philosophy, and specifically the philosophy that we're all eternal persons. The relationship with the spiritual master is eternal. And as Prabhupada said, we will have another Goloka, another ISKCON, we'll have another ISKCON in Goloka Vrindavan. And we'll all be together again. So we will all be together again. I remember one incident. There was another devotee, he was a guru. His name was Mahavishnu Goswami. He was an elderly Gujarati gentleman. He was actually a disciple of Shivaram Maharaj, not the Mahavishnu Swami from England, but Mahavishnu Goswami, elderly Indian gentleman, devotee. So he's passed away too. And when he was in the hospital, and he left this world a few days later, then Tamal Krishna Goswami went to see him in the hospital. And in the hospital, Tamal Krishna Goswami was telling Mahavishnu Goswami that you cannot go now. You must stay. You have more to do. You must stay. And Mahavishnu Goswami was saying, well, you know, I feel my time has come and I think I'm going. And Tamal Krishna Goswami was trying to sort of encourage him to be more positive, you could say. But Mahavishnu Goswami, he felt like that. And then he told Tamal Krishna Goswami a very interesting thing. And I think in our case here with Bhakti Charu Maharaj, I think it's very important to bear this in mind. Mahavishnu Goswami said, you know, I should go now because I want to be there in Goloka to greet everyone when they arrive. And when he said that, Tamal Krishna Goswami said he felt, okay, that's all right. So, devotees, but really, please hear this. Bhakti Charu Maharaj will be there to greet you and to greet me and to greet us when we arrive in Goloka Vrindavan. Of course, we have to qualify ourselves. That's another thing. But if we do, if you really take to heart the instructions of Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj and dedicate your hearts and your souls and just everything to spreading the ISKCON mission as he wanted, if you do that, then all right, at the end of this life, you'll be able to go back home, back to Godhead. And like I said, Bhakti Charu Maharaj will be waiting there for you with open arms. He is such a warm-hearted person. He'll be waiting there with his arms open, just waiting to embrace you all when you arrive. And to embrace me, I hope. Well, he will, yeah. It's really true. It's really true. Of course, we have to qualify ourselves, like we said, but the essence is, if we really carry on in devotional service nicely, we'll go back to Godhead, we'll be together again with Maharaj. Just 1 second. But I had personally that I was just a new devotee. Actually, I'm still a new devotee. I've only been a devotee not even 50 years. So I'm still a new devotee. But then I was a very new devotee. I moved into the temple on January the 7th, 1973. And then there I was in the temple, and then came Janmashtami, 1973. At that time, I was what is called the temple commander. I don't know if you have that specific service there in Ujjain, but I was the temple commander in our temple in central London, right in the heart of London. And the temple president, you might know him possibly, Prabhu Vishnu Prabhu. He was the temple president. And that day, Janmashtami, 1973, Srila Prabhupada was in Bhaktivedanta Manor, and he was installing the deities, Shri Shri Radha Gokul Ananda. I'm sure you've heard of them, maybe some of you have been there. So the program was going on, and there were hundreds of devotees there. We, in the temple in central London, we also wanted to be there. and most of the devotees were going, but it was Janmashtami. And we were also having a program in that temple in the center of London. And so we needed devotees to stay. So I was the temple commander. Prabhu Vishnu Prabhu was the president. So I was sort of like the second in command type of thing. So Prabhu Vishnu Prabhu said to me, he said, try not to make too much. He said, one of us is going to have to stay. And take a guess which one of us had to stay. I had to stay and see that the program went on, and actually many people came, a few hundred people came. It was quite a big festival. But I had to stay, and a few other devotees. And I felt disappointed. But anyway, what to do? So we carried on. But one thing I think is very important happened is that I had been reading and listening to Prabhupada, of course, every day. And I had read and I'd heard Prabhupada say on many occasions that the relationship with the spiritual master is eternal, that the relationship with the spiritual master is not limited by material circumstances, like geographical circumstances, time even, all these types of things. They don't affect the relationship with the spiritual master. Even of course, I'm sure you've heard that on many occasions when Prabhupada was asked, how did he start the Krishna consciousness movement alone, just on his own? Prabhupada answered, I am never alone. My spiritual master is always right next to me. So I'd heard these things a number of times, and I found it very interesting and very striking. And so I decided that morning there in Central London Temple, I decided to really try to meditate, absorb my mind in this idea that Srila Prabhupada is here, and by serving him, when I serve him, he is with me, he's right next to me. I really tried to absorb my mind like that. And you know what happened was, within about maybe half an hour of really trying to absorb the mind like that, it was very subtle, but I really started feeling that Srila Prabhupada was actually there with me. There was a great feeling of sort of inner strength and inspiration and enthusiasm coming from within. And that's what I thought, oh yes, Prabhupada is with me. Because that's our philosophy. That's Krishna consciousness. And for all of you who are disciples of Bhakti Charu Maharaj, this applies to you. That Bhakti Charu Maharaj is there with you. The only thing is, you have to tune in. You have to tune into the fact that he is there with you and accept that. Yes, because when you get into the distress and the difficulty of the disappearance of the spiritual master, it's easy to forget these things and just get caught up on the emotional level. So my advice to all of you there in ISKCON Ujjain, my advice in all seriousness, really start to meditate like that. Really start to pray like that. And really engage in devotional service very deeply like that. And I can assure you, if you do like that nicely, you will feel the presence of Bhakti Charu Maharaj. And from that, you'll feel inspiration, you'll feel enthusiasm, and very soon, you'll be able to just carry on with your service. Whatever services you were doing before, and even with more inspiration, more enthusiasm, and with more realization. So like this, in this way, the departure of the spiritual master, rather than being what some might call a setback, something which pushes us back, which pushes us down, and we just lose our positiveness and we lose our inspiration. The departure of the spiritual master can be and should be and must be, actually, it needs to be for us like a positive step, a stepping stone that we have to step up onto. It's a step up onto a higher level. But then on that higher level, you are able to progress in Krishna consciousness more, spread Krishna consciousness more, do better, and make progress and feel that. It's very important to do like that, because when Srila Prabhupada left this world, there were a number of devotees who were very close to Prabhupada, very close, like personal associates. They would spend time with him. He knew them. They had like real personal relationships with him. But some of those devotees, when Srila Prabhupada left this world, because they had not or could not accept this idea of Prabhupada being present, but being really present, despite having physically disappeared, they lost their inspiration in Krishna consciousness. And a number of them drifted away into sort of marginal positions of not practicing seriously. There were a few of the most senior devotees who were the closest to Prabhupada. They drifted away like that. Whereas others, even someone like me, I was not in that group. I was not in that group at all. I was just one of the younger devotees in London. But somehow or other, those of us who have managed to really accept that idea and meditate and pray for that mercy to get the realization, well, we're still here. We are still here, and we're carrying on Prabhupada's movement. So please try and do like that. It really is like a key. It's practically the key to now sort of reestablishing yourselves in positive, active, progressive Krishna consciousness, and in fact, coming to a higher level by the mercy of Bhakti Charu Maharaj. Yes. So these are some thoughts on the subject. I don't know, anyone got any thoughts they'd like to share, or any questions or anything? What do you think? Prashna hai?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay.
One devotee has a question. Radhika Raman Prabhu has a question.
Uh-huh.
My beloved spiritual master gave me initiation in 2018. I never had this kind of incredibly special attachment towards my spiritual master before. However, from 18th of June, from the time I heard about the critical health condition of my Guru Maharaj, I just thought about him and nothing else. Everything else became secondary in life for me suddenly. And all I wanted from Krishna was just my Guru Maharaj back and nothing else. And after the departure of my beloved Guru Maharaj, my life has been changed now. I am careful about the way I behave, I talk, I do my chanting, etc. Now I don't want to do anything that may displease my Guru Maharaj in any way. I am confused whether the sudden change that has come in me in last some days is just for some time, or is it some special mercy of my spiritual master on me? May I please request at your lotus feet to please help me to understand this.
All right, I can try. Yes, the disappearance pastime of the spiritual master is, in a certain sense, it is a special type of mercy. The same thing happened with when Prabhupada was disappearing over the week or so just immediately before. That the devotees who were there, they became practically obsessed with Prabhupada. They just couldn't think of anything else at all. So you've experienced that, and that is special mercy from Bhakti Charu Maharaj, that special mercy from Krishna. Now, in regards to whether it will carry on like that, well, that's the question. And that's the question for you. Like I mentioned, when Prabhupada left this world, some devotees very, very close to him, they just drifted away because they could not accept this deeper idea of the relationship with the spiritual master not being just a face-to-face relationship, but a relationship on a much higher level, and even a level which is not visible directly. So that depends on you. Radhika Raman, was it? Anyway, whoever, it depends on all of you. You can keep that mood. You can develop that mood even more. You can develop it even more. But that's up to you. But if you try, then you'll see the mercy will come. Just like I was saying, if you pray and if you really try to remember and accept the idea that your Guru Maharaj is present with you, then the mercy will come. But you have to make an effort now. You have to make the effort. And the thing is, you prayed that you wouldn't lose his association. Well, the fact is, you haven't lost his association. Because even when the spiritual master is physically present, how many hours in a week do you actually spend in his physical association? I know Bhakti Charu Maharaj. I've known him many years, more than 30 years. And I know he was traveling and traveling and traveling. And when he was traveling, you were not with him. Even when he was there in Ujjain, he was up there, up on the top floor there. I've been up there. He was up there. Maybe he was down with you for the morning program and certain times, but you were not with him all the time. So the situation now is the same, but it's just a little deeper. That's all. That's all. So anyway, those are some thoughts on that subject.
There is another question. Yes, Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. It is said that the happiness of devotees is the happiness of Krishna. Krishna does anything for his devotees' pleasure. But here Krishna didn't think about devotees' happiness and called Maharaj in his abode. How can we clarify this, Maharaj? How we understand this?
Yes, right. And you know what is the highest type of happiness? You know what our philosophy is? You know that service and separation is by far the highest ecstasy, by far. And now your Guru Maharaj has given that to you, but in a way that initially it's difficult to comprehend. But if you do like we were saying, you'll be able to comprehend it, and you'll understand that actually I'm now in service and separation, and it's a special gift from Guru Maharaj and from Krishna. And you'll find you'll be happier than you have ever been. You'll be happier than you've ever been, feeling the presence of Maharaj. Yeah, and knowing that he's present. So, Krishna, I wrote a letter to all of you. I don't know if you received it. In it, I mean, just on the very day he passed away. And I mentioned one thing Prabhupada said. Prabhupada said, I have my plan, you have your plan, but Krishna has his plan. And we must know which plan is going to be the plan which comes out. And of course, that's Krishna's plan. So like this, it's mercy but it's very heavy mercy. Oh my gosh, it's such heavy mercy, but it's mercy. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj. Another question.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Another question by Amrendra Prabhu. Hare
Okay.
Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Now that my Guru Maharaj has went back to Godhead, so many God brothers and senior devotees are glorifying him, bringing out his qualities and soothing us in this crisis. I want to humbly request you that if GBC body can facilitate to conduct some regular classes, sessions about the glorification of current acharyas and senior devotees, whole world will come to know their glories while they are still physically present among us. Devotees will have ample opportunities to heartily take their shelter and avoid offenses to them.
Okay. Okay. Mesa Mastahon, Dhanyavad. We will see what we can do. But it's a nice idea. It's a nice idea.
One question by Sitanath Das. We lost our spiritual father. Now all of you God brothers of our Gurudev are our fathers. Please guide us how we can serve nicely in the way Guru Maharaj taught us, and please Srila Prabhupada, humble request to your holiness to please visit Ujjain, your servant Sitanath Das.
Yes, well, you know, we've got this lockdown. It's so heavy. It's so heavy. But when it is possible, you can be sure that the God brothers of your Guru Maharaj will definitely come. And for what it's worth, I'll come also myself. I only can, let me just say one thing. I only have time for one more question. I have another program. But
Yes,
one
Maharaj.
more question.
There is one long question by Manu Das Prabhu. He's saying, Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for remembering the times of Srila Prabhupada departure from this world and relating those times to now. Maharaj, I am a Grahastha and was not doing active service to Maharaj. On 1st June, I wrote Guru Maharaj a very long email and was looking forward for his decision to change the course of my life, wherein I wanted specifically directions to move forward and dedicate my time in serving Guru Maharaj on any project he would like me to dedicate myself to. Guru Maharaj may or may not have read the email, as reply on email could never came. Now I am wondering what and how do I move on in this situation. I wish Gurudev could now tell that Manu, please do such and such service. Our hearts are broken and lamenting that I wish I have had interacted with him a little earlier. Your servant.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. You know, I can just tell you from my own side that I spent very little time with Prabhupada. I was only with him, just the two of us, once, when he gave me Gayatri. And that was just, 5 or 10 minutes or something. And otherwise, I never got any personal instruction from Prabhupada face to face, you do this. You know what I mean? But here I am, I'm still here. I'm still here by the grace of the Lord. And I've got such extremely important, crucial service to do, my God. Yeah. So anyway, for Manu, what I would say is that first thing, he should offer some prayers to Bhakti Churu Maharaj. He should offer some prayers to Srila Prabhupada, to Radha Madan Mohan, Krishna Balaram. He should offer some prayers that I wrote this letter. This is what I would like. So please help. then having done that, then I would go to the senior devotees. At least the senior local devotees like Bhakti Prem Maharaj and others. I don't know the names of all the senior devotees there, and go to them and humbly present, this is what I want to do. And, explain, I wrote to Guru Maharaj, now I've been offering prayers, so you please help me. Please help me to find some service, like some serious service, meaningful service that I can dedicate myself to, and in this way dedicate myself to Guru Maharaj through that service. And like we said, Guru Maharaj is there. He's not an ordinary person who dropped dead and it's just the end. No, not at all. He's there. And he will give inspiration to the devotees. And if you have some nice discussion with them, he'll give the inspiration, he'll give the intelligence. And by his mercy, you will be able to find some very nice service where you'll be able to make a really nice offering to Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. We are extremely grateful to you for your guidance, the way you related the situation to departure of Srila Prabhupada, and you showed us the way to please our His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj by serving in separation, his instructions, and in this way we can realize his presence. We constantly need your blessings to follow your teachings, and we humbly request you to please visit Ujjain, which you himself said that it is the heart, a very, very important project of Srila Guru Maharaj. Please visit here and bless us, so that we can follow your instructions and please our Guru Maharaj and serve ISKCON throughout our life. Let us express our gratitude to Maharaj by chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra with raised hands. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare.
Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami Maharaj ki.
Haribol, thank you, Dhanyavad, Hare Krishna, Haribol.
His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj ki. Prabhupada ki.